Look no further. This is the best strategy to win money sports betting, especially on apps like PrizePicks. First things first, we have to find a way to get a leg up on PrizePicks. Here's a little secret. You need to be right on your individual legs in 5 and 6 man flex slips on PrizePicks just above 54.3% of the time in order to be profitable over the long term playing those slip types. I'm going to be flipping this coin throughout the entire video, and you're going to learn a little bit more in just a few seconds, but here comes the first few clicks. Boom, 50 clicks. A lot of people think these props on PrizePicks have a 50-50 chance to hit just because you have two options, over or under, and your payout doesn't change for choosing the over or the under of any of these player props. Now, what if I told you there was mathematically a real way to find out the true chance that these plays have to hit? And it's very rarely ever 50%. As we can see here in this example, Carlton Carrington is favored to go over 12.5 points on 4 different sports books at -141 average odds across the 4. However, we get this at -119 on PrizePicks in 5 and 6 man flexes. So, taking into consideration what the sportsbooks have, the over and the under for this player prop, we are finding a true fair odds percent or odds percent to hit for this play at 54.63% of the time. So, playing this over and over again, let's say 1,000 times, this should be hitting close to 54.63%, well above that 54.3% that we need in order to be profitable over the long term. Let's say you and I were flipping a coin. You get heads, I get tails, or I get tails, you get heads. There's no true edge on either side of this coin. It's a true 50-50 chance to hit heads or tails. However, at the end of these 1,000 flips with a 50-50 coin, I'll show you what it's like to play with a weighted coin and how there is a real edge. Does that make sense? Playing these plays that have a high percent chance to hit via the sports books against PrizePicks is basically like you flipping a weighted coin in your favor against PrizePicks. And quite honestly, you're going to need a little help to do that. You're going to need a tool like Daily Grind Fantasy that does all of this math on the back end for you. It takes into consideration what the lines and odds are on the sports books, compares it directly back to PrizePicks, does the math on the back end to spit out this true fair odds percent to hit. And all you need to do is make sure you guys are putting in 5 and 6 man slips with the average fair odds percentage above that 54.3% chance to hit, and you guys will be profitable in the long term. And the reason you have to be so fast is because when PrizePicks recognizes there is an edge against them, they have to either 1, remove these plays, or 2, bump them so there's not an edge and that many people getting that slip off with that play in it that has a higher percent chance to hit than they actually want to be giving the user. Now let's keep flipping this coin to 500 at least. As you guys can see here, tails is going on a run at 56%, but over the long term, this is likely to even out. Because even if it's a 50% chance to hit, there's still going to be runs on either side of this coin. So over the long term is what we are looking at for results of this coin flip. And like I just mentioned, with the 50-50 coin, there's going to be good runs and bad runs for both sides. Same thing if you had a weighted coin, let's say at 56 or 55% in your favor, right? There's still going to be times where you go on a crazy run. There's going to be times where the other side that only has a 45% chance of hitting still has a good run. Negative and positive variance in sports betting. It happens to everybody. Sometimes you're on a hot streak and you're having a lot of positive variance where you feel like you can't lose. And then sometimes you lose a lot. Negative variance hits and you just are on a downward spiral. But don't give up because you are playing these plays with an edge for a reason. We are almost all the way through flipping this coin 1,000 times. We flipped it 750 times. 53% of the time it's landed on tails, 47% of the time on heads. Now remember, you need to hit on PrizePicks 54.3+% in order to be profitable. So if you were taking these props that have 50% chance to hit and not props with an edge above that 54.3%, you would still be a losing sports bettor or a non-profitable sports bettor no matter which side of this coin you had. And back to the positive and negative variance thing. Just because we have that weighted coin, like I mentioned, against PrizePicks, doesn't mean that PrizePicks isn't ever going to win. They are going to go on runs, just like you see here in my January recap on Pickett. You can see here, I just basically had a downward spiral, a lot of negative variance to start the month until we got here, and boom, that 55-56% ended up kicking in, and we seen some positive variance, and we ended up the month up almost $400. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, and this wasn't one of my best months, but in the end, that weighted coin did what it had to do and ended up getting us profitable. In the first 20 days of January, I lost money on 16 of those days and only won money 4 days. That's a lot of negative variance, but how do we fight negative variance in sports betting, right? We control and manage our bankroll, never putting more than 1% of our bankroll on a certain play or slip on PrizePicks in order to make sure we are lasting a long time for this negative variance to go away. And on top of that, to fight negative variance, we play it at volume. Since we have that weighted coin, playing it over time with a lot of plays is how you are going to be profitable long term. All right, let's finish up and flip this coin to 1,000. And so after 1,000 flips, in one hell of a start by tails, it ends up almost 50-50. 506 times it landed on tails, and 494 times it landed on heads. There's really not an edge either way. This is exactly why you need to make sure you are playing plays that have above that 54.3% chance to hit over the long term to ensure you're going to be profitable. It's mathematically proven. Now let's toss a coin that has a probability of getting tails at 56% of the time. Every time I click this button, it will toss this coin 1,000 times. Boom, we just tossed it 1,000 times. We see that we actually ended up getting 56.9% tails in this experiment. Now pay attention to this number, and I'm gonna just toss it a bunch of more times at 1,000 times each click. Boom, 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 boom. As you can see, we are getting oftentimes above that 54.3% number that we're looking for. So our weighted coin or our weighted plays against PrizePicks is working in our favor in making us profitable over the long term. So please stop using your emotions to bet and actually find a mathematical edge by using a tool like Daily Grind Fantasy to quickly do this math for you and show you the most profitable plays at that time on the PrizePicks board, Underdog, or any of your other favorite DFS apps. I'll leave a link to Daily Grind Fantasy in the description if you want access to it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you guys like this type of content or you want pick videos or daily live streams, we do that all right here on this channel. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and we'll catch you in the next one.